So we are now at MoTA Museum in Ljubljana, and in this former shop space from the 70s. And when Martin asked me to make an exhibition here, I was thinking immediately about to show something, a longer project that I started some years ago about concerning the history of the workers' movement. So in several projects I deal with that, this kind of the ghost of the workers' movement, because these projects are mainly about the victory of capitalism over the workers' movement as the movement itself as such. So the exhibition consists of the overlapping of two pretty distant projects which interconnect somehow. One is in the background of the exhibition. It's a series of 33 blackboards with chalk drawings and diagrams and texts upon these blackboards, which is entitled very basically Das Kapitalraum 2, so the space of capital 2. It is a continuation of Joseph Beuys' seminal piece Das Kapitalraum, which he did in the beginning of the 80s. And actually I was pretty much struck by the fact that the Beuys used and appropriated several blackboards made by other artists or theoreticians, like when he did the Free University project in Kassel. He invited people who draw on blackboards, and then he just put it in his installation. Later on, researchers started to credit these blackboards, but not all of them, and it was pretty interesting to see that. So I decided to continue that, to tell and to talk about the history of, let's say, contemporary capitalism, from the political changes, especially in Eastern Europe. So it starts around the end of the 80s, beginning of 90s, through the till today, to the cryptocurrencies and stuff. So with the Kapitalraum 2 project, I really wanted to start with the political changes, political economical changes happened after '89 in Eastern Europe. This really wide transformation from the transformation of the from state capitalism to this kind of wild capitalism that happened in the 90s. So for example, like the different kind of Ponzi schemes, pyramidal schemes, multi-level marketing schemes from Amway to Avon, etc., which arrived with the privatizations, which were scandalous privatizations in every country. Of course, in Yugoslavia, it ended up with a bloody horrible war. Some other countries could survive without a war, but still it was unemployment, etc., and how it turned to be a kind of today's half authoritarian models of capitalism, which were developed in this region, from Poland to Hungary or to other countries. So it talks about that. So some of the drawings are pretty technical, which try to explain how this kind of casino-like capitalism can work. Other drawings are more, let's say, metaphorical, when we can talk about, like the transfiguration of labor, the birth of money, this kind of drawings or schemas, and arriving to the different digital speculative forms of contemporary capitalism with really cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and all these things. So this is where this series ends, approximately. I don't want to glorify the socialist past, of course. It's like anyway. I'm pretty much a follower of a Hungarian philosopher who passed away recently, unfortunately, Miklós Tamás Gáspár, who who wrote a lot about socialism, the existing socialism as state capitalism, and he theorized that. And so I have a look mainly on that point, how it was a dictatorial state capital model, state capitalist model, which changed to a more neoliberal model in the 90s. So it's not a question to glorify that, but there would have been other methods of transformation as well, and I would have been more happy to go through a democratization of a socialist model than this one. So this is one work, and the other one, which gave its title to the exhibition, International Room, it comes from a kind of an anecdote that I found out that there is a huge building in the middle of Pittsburgh, at the University of Pittsburgh, the Catedrala of Learning. Hence, this is a kind of a link to Joseph Beuys itself, who was talking a lot about a new kind of cathedral he envisioned to build. And so in this Cathedral of Learning, in an Art Deco building built 100 years ago approximately, they incorporated nationality rooms. These were like classrooms commemorating the different people who built Pittsburgh and the university itself. So there is like an English classroom, an Irish classroom, Italian, Hungarian, etc., Russian, and so all these ethnic classrooms. And I thought that it's pretty strange that as Pittsburgh was always an industrial city, an important hub of the American Communist Party back then, that all these workers and people who didn't identify as something with their ethnicity, but as internationalists, as international workers, they are never mentioned. So I imagine this installation as a kind of a proposal for the University of Pittsburgh to incorporate an international room, international classroom in their building. So basically it works like that. And some elements, there are some sculptures, cast iron sculptures, which link the two projects with these blackboard drawings and this installation. And these sculptures I made last year when I had the chance to participate to a residency in one of the last socialist metallurgist plant in Hungary, in Dunajváros, new city on the Danube, which was built in the 50s. It's still functioning. There are a lot of problems because it was privatized and etc. It's a very it's in a very bad shape, this metallurgical plant. But I could work there last year for a month, and that's where I could make the sculptures. So for this international room, international classroom project, I worked on a writing system, and I took as a point of departure the two versions of the same poster of the Haymarket riot, which was in Chicago in the end of the 19th century, 1884. We commemorate actually 1st of May. Because of this demonstration, which became a bloody demonstration in Chicago. So there were two posters, one a pacifist one, the other one with a call to arms, to working men, arm yourself and appear in full force, which was omitted from the other one. And it was in English and German, because it was like the two main languages back then in Chicago, in the workers' districts. So I sampled a whole alphabet from A to Z in these two alphabets. I wanted to keep this eclectic, very eclectic 19th century typographical scheme And this is how I created an alphabet, a writing system. So for this project I use only these fonts, so any kind of word I write with these fonts recall immediately the Haymarket affair. So this is how these installation is built up. Then it was, all these texts were printed on fabric, on synthetic fabric, and put on these furnitures which we call the so-called international style, which was like contemporary with the building of the Cathedral of Learning, with Bauhaus, etc. I took the model of Marcel Breyer's tubular furniture. So this gray and black flag, which is in the middle of the room, of the space, it's a kind of an ending point of the exhibition, let's say. It's called Family Tree, and very basically I took a popular end of 19th century image called the Family Tree of Socialism, which was a very strong tree with coming together growing together from 3 trees, and which became with the three philosophical movements arriving through the Paris Commune, through the Internationale, to socialism. So, and of course this tree is like a tree from a forest of Chernobyl.